Welcome to the After Dark. This is simply our place where we give our thoughts on whatever we care to talk about each week. Yes, the most interesting thing you can possibly watch and enjoy on the internet. I want to this week discuss Equestria Girls. Those who don't know it, Equestria Girls is the My Little Pony movie. Now, to a lot of you out there who are listening to this, I know you must be thinking, why the frick would you fellas want to come on the internet and discuss My Little Pony? Right? Well, I don't really have much of an answer for you.
Ponies are awesome.
Yes.
What better reason?
Those who are probably just looking at this is probably going to be more of a brony topic. So those who are unfamiliar with the community or want nothing to do with it, I probably will advise you to probably go away. If you hate the community, we probably will say a couple of bad things about it later, so stick around for that. Something for everyone. We're here to please everyone. That's what we do.
Yeah, we're people.
I'm sure eventually we'll get someone on here who's a new person. Anyway, shall we dive straight into it?
Sure, why not?
So, Equestria Girls is the My Little Pony equivalent of this movie that came out June or July?
Around then.
in America?
Yes, America. Land of the free.
And ever since then, there have been nothing but movie rips on YouTube and other sources. Of course, I have only just seen the movie because I'm Australian. Only seen it about 2 weekends ago. So I did wait to see it legitly, giving my money to the companies.
Yes, so did I. Of course.
You're a dirty pirate.
I had a bath a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but you still have scurvy.
Yeah, not a great fan of oranges.
Never mind. So, with the recent release of it coming out of Australia, it has been a bit of a bigger topic in Australia, and I figured being an Australian myself, and whatever you are, would be interesting to discuss.
I could be Australian, I suppose.
I don't think you're Australian.
I don't know that.
Yeah, but I don't think you're even of this world at the time. I was hoping you'd be Icelandic.
Yeah, sadly I'm not your strong Icelandic man.
Well, do you at least have the money? I need the money.
For now. Until I drink it away at least.
What is your favourite kind of drink anyway?
I do like me some vodka.
I want to try moonshine.
I haven't tried that before.
It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Well, diving straight into the topic. You want to go out first saying if you have not seen the movie, we will be talking spoilers about it or whatever we want to discuss. So we'll just pretend that you have seen it. And,
spoiler alert.
And honestly, if you haven't seen it, whether you hate it or not, go see it and get a proper opinion on the movie first. I personally thought it was a fantastic movie and worth going to see again.
I too thought it was brilliant. Ain't gonna be too interesting if we both liked it, so I think I'll play a bit more of the devil's advocate.
Works for me. If you want to play that role, what is something you want to discuss about it first? Or anything you hated about it?
Well, one pet peeve of mine is the boots. They took up a good third of the body. I mean, I don't know if it's animation style or trend in America, but just knee-high boots. Everyone was wearing them.
Well, in all honesty, when I look at it, I sort of just think back to the actual real original animations of My Little Ponies. And the boots kind of remind me of the back legs of the ponies. The way they're sort of just bigger until halfway up and then just sort of go really small as they go up the rest of the body. So the boots kind of really do remind me of the hoops. But that's just what it feels to me. If I had to take a guess as to why they decided it like that, it's because Hasbro, the company behind My Little Pony and Equestria Girls, obviously wants to sell more toys, and obviously try and make a Barbie sort of competition. So with that sort of figurines, it's much easier for them to make big boots on each figurine instead of just small little shoes.
Yeah, speaking of Hasbro and trying to make more toys, early on in the film, at the very beginning, Pinkie Pie's all nervous-sighted when she rolls up into her little ball and she unrolls.
Oh,
she makes a transformer noise. Just do-do-do-do-do.
Now, originally I thought... I didn't catch it. It's like, was that a Transformers? And I thought that the Hasbro was putting that in there directly for the Brony community. Like, now that I think back to it. Hasbro is also the creators of Transformers.
Yeah.
So it might simply just be a ploy to get people to think about Transformers to buy toys, or it could be a reference to bronies who watch it knowing about Transformers.
Yeah, either. It's definitely a Transformer.
Yeah. I think I once saw a parody on the internet about someone who fought Sins about the movie and actually hated that. They hated the fact that they included the Transformers sound in it for no reason.
Oh, yeah?
No. For those kind of people, I feel like when they watch it, they feel like Pinky should not be able to do the things she does, and just to have something that out of place doesn't seem to fit in with their kind of view. Which, when you honestly think about it, is pretty ridiculous.
Speaking of ridiculous, so the Equestrian Girls movie, it's after season 3 and before season 4, as far as we can tell. At the end of the season 3 finale, Twilight, being the newly crowned princess, she just flies off away from the Camelot castle after she's been crowned, and she's flying nearly perfectly.
She does too, doesn't she?
Yeah, but start of Equestria Girls, she can't even hover.
I forgot
she
about
just
that.
falls flat in her face.
Well, I mean, we can chalk it up to a musical moment where anything is possible. But if we were to establish a proper law, maybe it was a simple glide. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say it's one of the moments where it's just simply a musical moment to an episode, finale style. Perhaps like the young Pegasus can all of a sudden fly, whereas when they start to grow up they can't. It could just be a one-time deal.
Could be. But yeah, it also adds a little bit of comedic value.
Do we absolutely know she can't fly? I forgot what that scene featured, what they said.
I mean, well, Twilight's just, I'm still getting used to these. She flutters her wings, she hovers a foot off the air, and just falls.
Well, it may be a sign of that fact that she can fly every now and then. She's still getting used to flying, so every now and then she can still make mistakes. Like, before it was a glide. This time it's actually staying in one position in the air.
Yeah, I suppose so. Take a bit more effort.
I think something like that would be answered the moment Season 4 comes out.
Yes.
So, look forward to November. We'll get an answer to that.
Woo!
And if we're successful enough, or people haven't decided to yell at us and get us off the internet by then, we'll probably discuss that.
That we will.
Being between Season 3 and 4 as well, it's a very nice place for the movie.
Yeah, it is. Feels that beautiful lull. Gives the fan artists a bit more inspiration, and
It also feels like almost a great extension to Season 3 in a way.
oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, a lot of people keep saying that Equestria Girls is just another two-part episode, right? I mean, if you're gonna feel like that, then you may as well just think Equestria Girls is the end of Season 3. Bit of delay, but at least we got to see it.
But yeah, better than, well, some people think it's better than nothing, but I mean, there's that whole other side of the brony fandom. I mean, Equestria Girls, why would, young adults watch a little girl show about teenage girls and their problems?
Oh, do you know how ashamed at times I feel to be actually part of that community? I mean, you have some really big hypocrites, and it's fair. I mean, in every community, there are the good and the bad, the obviously plain ugly. And this is just
Guilty.
I'm sorry, you are pretty hideous.
I know. I
I mean, you over the years, I suppose, haven't really been that involved with everything. The community has often outlashed at Hasbro itself whenever they do decide to changes. And it just shocks me. Because the community apparently had to be founded by very open-minded people.
Yeah, I mean, I started out not exactly a hater, but people like ponies. What the hell? But then my friend finally got me to watch an episode. Oh, this ain't too bad. 2 days later, well, they go 2 seasons.
Personally, I was always an open-minded person, but even the first time I ever heard of My Little Pony was I went to a karaoke thing, sung Young Cat the whole day and ran out of breath. The next people on after me decided to sing the My Little Pony theme song. So here I am, it's the Season 1 though. So as it's starting up, you have the My Little Pony, My Little Pony. As I'm just hearing that, I'm thinking, even for women, who would sing this?
Yeah, you just groan inside.
And then, 2 seconds later, the whole tune shifts, and it's just amazing song to hear.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know, I'm more of a person who loves his stories more than anything else, but music also draws me into stories as much as anything else. And
Sets the mood.
To hear that song is what really got me started hearing about it. It's not for another 6 months before I even watched an episode or bothered thinking about it, but that was what got me interested in what this whole topic was. I never got away from it. I was just like, being open-minded, yes, but it just wasn't something that bothered me in the slightest. I had nothing to do with it. I just let things go as they naturally needed to. But eventually I did watch an episode, and I realized how limited these seasons were, so I watched about 3 to 5 episodes a day. Slowed down as just before I got to season 3, and catch the end of it. So I basically started watching the whole show when the first episode of season 3 came out.
Yeah.
Caught up to season 3 when the Too Many Pinkie Pies episode came out, which, by the way, is probably the most freakiest episode that ever exists of any show. Well, not any show, just... Ugh.
I mean, yeah, it's fairly innocent, classic, Pinkie Pie likes to have fun.
It's a clone episode, but the idea of making copies of yourself and no one can tell the difference who you are. And then you may very well be imprisoned or die because someone mistakes you for one of the clones. That's just, I don't know about you, but that just scares me.
Yeah, I mean, other clone Pinkie Pies are somewhat 2D. All they care about is fun, fun, fun.
So it's sort of surprising that they didn't catch on to it, but I suppose they couldn't really tell who the real Pinkie Pie was in it, or just because the amount of other Pinkie Pies was just overshadowing the real one.
Rather scary thought.
Yeah. I'd never, ever want to be in that sort of situation. It's the same in any movie where you see, like, some convict beats one of the security guards up and puts the security guard in the convict's outfit. And it's a case of mistaken identity.
Yeah.
But we're getting off topic.
Yeah, we are.
Well, yeah. Yeah, the community was meant to start off as a very open-minded thing. And yet, as the years went on, as the people who watched it, they got so used to this show that they love that they've lost the open-mindedness and just become so closed off to everything else. My Little Pony is a show with ponies, and that's it to them. Yeah,
it's become their show, not Frost's or Hasbro's or anyone's.
No.
Their show.
It's no longer an open-minded... People who have been watching the show for a while are no longer that open-minded as they used to be. So it's lost the charm to them. I mean, the first Outlash they ever did was against Winged Twilight. Alicorn Twilight. And come on, that's like almost any fanfic writer's dream.
I can accept that. That's a huge change.
It's an actual dynamic that changed the whole show, yes.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you got 2 Pegasi, 2 unicorns, 2 earth ponies. Now you've got a Alicorn? What?
No, but it's like, give it a chance. We don't need to make such a huge decision. We know it's going to happen, so wait till it's happened before giving your such huge opinions, saying that you hate it. You would do anything to stop it from happening. It's going to happen.
You just got to take it as it is.
And that was like the case with Equestria Girls.
Yeah, I mean, myself, I was a little doubtful at first about it, but then who could remember some random person was like, hey, you should be more positive about it. I mean, it's something. It's just...
Yeah, I've always been... The moment I started hearing people hate this, I've just always made it my mission to fight for its fairness. It deserves a chance.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how bad it could have been, it deserves the chance we gave the original series.
Yeah. And even if people hate it, who cares? I mean, like, why are people going out of the way to try and make sure it doesn't exist? I mean, there are thousands of things in other Legend of Zelda series, right? Mm-hmm. It's a huge, great game. Yet, halfway through it, some other company says, we want to make games for it as well. That company was known as the CDI company, right? Or the makers of the CDI Legend of Zelda games.
Yeah.
It's now, we pretend now that those Legend of Zelda games don't exist.
The Matrix. There's only one, isn't it?
I thought so.
There's crazy rumors that there's more than one sequels, but...
Well, I can imagine where they'd take it after the first Matrix.
Maybe some ridiculous thing. Oh, like, I don't know.
Maybe
come to the real world.
Yeah, maybe save the real world, bring back the sun. That'd probably be a good way to go about it. Yeah, I mean, if Equestria Girls was end up being so bad, yes, we can pretend it's not part of it. But instead, the fans of the show decided to just not have it occur at all. They wouldn't give it a chance. They wouldn't be open-minded to think it was good. It was their ponies, their story was being changed a little bit. In a way that didn't have to matter to them, but they wanted to make it matter. Because it's their story, apparently. They don't want it to be Hasbro's, they want it to be theirs. They chose to care about something and hate it. Not give it a chance, but just outright hate it. So now when I go on the internet and see some brony go on about, oh, love and tolerate, oh, we care about things, we understand stuff. Oh, do you? Is this because you're a brony or because you're a good person?
It's a good point there. I mean, funny thing about love and tolerate, that was originally a term used to mock bronies, but we used it for ourselves.
I consider it first and second gen. 4chan was where it was invented. That's the first gen bronies.
Yeah.
The very unseen ones and the trolling ones. They had a good balance. They made it their show, but they were very open to everything. Everything was all in good fun. The second generation adopted it. They took in the love and tolerance saying and made it their motto, and eventually turned into these closed-minded people. Who's the real enemy? The trolls, or the people who become trolls? The original trolls, they were all good. They were all in good fun.
Yeah.
The second generation of trolls, ugh. And they don't even know what they're doing.
Cancer of the internet.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I've come into contact with a lot of bronies before who just say, look, I'll say it, I'm not a good guy. Well, I'm a good guy, but I'm an honest guy. And people don't like honesty that much. So, people, there have been bronies who think I'm going to change, who think I'm going to become a nice guy. A kind of guy who doesn't say things that could hurt others. Well, I've gotten rid of every one of them that has ever said that. I've not killed them.
Oh, you had me worried for a second there.
I'm not that mean.
Yeah, I was just trying to think through, had I said that before, or are you coming after me, or... Yeah.
Oh, no. I already plan to kill you when we go on the road trip.
Got a couple of months then.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm sure we'll work something out soon then. But,
PonyCon 2014. Yeah.
go to it. Sponsored by After Dark. Buy stuff from Hasbro.
Buy some apples.
That'll probably be the one comment that we get copyrighted for by the Friendship is Witchcraft. You said a line from a Bridge series. They don't like it. Stop this immediately. I don't even know why I'm pointing my finger out. I just extend my arm and it's like, who's going to see this?
Well, I do have a couple of cameras in your room, but that's a story for another time.
Is it behind that new poster?
You found it already?
Well, I thought it was some online pornography camera.
Oh.
You haven't looked over the footage yet, have you?
No.
Well, when I get the lubricant out, it's just fast forward it for a while. We'll just show it off at the next LAN party.
Anyways, Equestria girls.
So, getting beyond the fact of the horrid brony infection that is the supposedly good brony community, once again, part of it doesn't mean I have to like all of them. The actual movie itself, I was glad I supported it, because when I saw it in movies, it was a fantastic movie. It was a brilliant movie. And I loved watching it. The moment you get to the credit scene, it was a very nice remix of the MLP theme song.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of people have commented on it's a remix stolen from some guy off YouTube.
What's like 90% of the YouTube brony music? It's a remix of the show.
I mean, come on. Yeah. Hasbro could have just made the exact same song as two other people, and it would just be a coincidence. But immediately after that, we're introduced to Sunset Shimmer, the antagonist of the movie, and we watch as she tries to steal the crown and get away silently.
Yeah, try.
Now, I have seen someone comment, why does she fail so badly at this? It's just, what do you expect? Nothing ever goes according to plan. She's not the perfect thief. Twilight ends up catching her and pursuing her, catching on to what she's doing, and they end up losing the crown, and it falls into the portal to the human world.
So, Sunset Shimmer's been in the human world portal for the last 2.5 years, at least.
At least.
The portal used to be in Canterlot, and they moved it to Crystal Empire, yeah?
Yeah.
How did Sunset Shimmer know that, 1, Twilight even had the crown, and 2, that she'd be in that specific bedroom? I mean, she didn't check any other bedrooms. She made a beeline straight for Twilight's.
Twilight was in the human world for 3 nights, right?
Yes.
Are we sure about that? I mean, I saw her sleep once in the human world.
Well, it's implied that she is.
Like, she slept in she slept in the library, right? Then throughout the next day is when she tries to get everything figured out. She the whole next day is when everything else happens. She only slept there 1 night. Now, I'm guessing this every 30 moon thing counts for every full moon, which is for 3 nights, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or at least 1 night, the night, and 2 nights surrounding it.
Give or take.
So if she only slept there one night, and the next night was when she had to go back, that means there's a whole nother night that she wasn't there for. So maybe in this time, Sunset Shimmer had stepped through the portal to see what's going on, found that she was in the Crystal Empire, and tried and snooped around to figure out what exactly was happening. Maybe she heard of Twilight was coming, and came, and decided to try and do something about it the next day.
Yeah, that's a good explanation.
Far-fetched. The only other thing I could imagine is that Sunset Shimmer is technically a unicorn and has magic. We see her pull off a short-distance teleportation. Maybe the spells for locating.
I mean, she was Celestia before.
Which means, if she was Celestia's student before Twilight, we have to assume that she's been there for a lot more than 2.5 years. Because this would obviously be before Twilight gets Akuma.
Yeah.
I think over 7 years.
Yeah. A minimum of 5. Probably more.
This does bring up the question of how Sunset Shimmer react when she's in the human world for that long time by herself.
How did she get established? Was she an orphan and welfare, or?
Well, I'm going to say that I can't really answer those kind of questions. And I know some person will probably say, that's just another part of her bad backstory. But in all honesty, almost every character in the show has not got a perfect background. We barely know anything about the character backgrounds.
Twilight, we've probably got the most.
Yeah.
And maybe Applejack.
And I think her background's even given... She's a better bad character than Sombra. If people want to keep making that joke. We actually do know more about her than Sombra.
I think Flim and Flam are better villains than Sombra.
Sombra is this all-powerful being. He'll literally destroy everything. Well, it's just, unfortunately, due to that fact, we can't allow you to see what he can actually do, or he'll destroy everything.
Yeah, I mean, he could be, all-powerful, like you said, but...
We're just not allowed to see it because that's too much for the 5-year-old girls to still watch the show.
Or it could just be woo, I'm a ghost, and I'm attacking a shield. Woo.
How do you think he ended up a ghost anyway?
Crystal unicorn magic.
Maybe he'll come back in season 4.
Maybe, I mean... He had so much potential, but
he still does.
Didn't do anything with it.
He still does. We could learn and all. And at the very least, it spawned a lot of comics and fanfics and stuff for the community to have fun with.
And he's adopted the fans have given him a Mexican persona.
Anyway, so, yeah, Sunset Shimmer. She's been getting a lot of hate from people as well. Just not really seen as that bad a character, and no one understanding how could she do all the stuff she does. For example, how she manages to trick everyone in school and bring fear to them, how she tricks the main 5 of the school. Yeah,
just more missing backstory, I guess.
No. I read up on the internet the exact perfect word to describe it.
Oh?
Teenage stupidity. We're dealing with teenagers, of course cyberbullying's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
I also believe Sunset Shimmer has a little bit of magic in her or something. We saw that magic is possible in the human world.
With assistance.
With assistance, but I'd have to say she to be Celestia's student, she'd have to be smart. And she obviously knew a lot more about the elements of harmony than even Twilight, so she'd obviously know some way to do some magic.
Yeah, that was quite surprising, especially since, Twilight and her friends got the elements of harmony from Midnight Castle.
Yeah, but remember, everything they could have learnt was in a book. A book they didn't really read more than 2 pages of before. And the next chance they ever had was in Season 2, which Discord ripped out all the pages to hide the elements of harmony in them. So, that's sort of done. Aside from that, and then people have complained about her smashing the mirror.
Yes, the mirror that led to the statue portal thing.
Yes. She was never going to smash the mirror. She just wanted Twilight to believe that.
Another thing I've got about that, it's a portal. Twilight, her backpack and stuff went through it. I doubt the hammer would actually smash it.
Remember, but she just wanted Twilight to think that.
Yeah, I mean, well, she was bluffing, but...
And we have obviously seen in the past how gullible Twilight can actually be.
Yes.
And I think, the last grievance anyone had about her was her plan to take over Equestria with teenage humans. Which makes perfect sense, though. Yes, she has an army of teenagers, and that might be a little bit of a problem. People pointing out Discord and Luna would stop her, and Cadence.
Yeah. I mean, Twilight says it herself. Equestria might be able to survive without the elements of harmony, but this world can't. Luna, Discord. Hell, the Royal Guard might put up a fair fight.
How was Sunset Shimmer meant to know about Discord and Luna?
I mean, well, if she knows about the elements of harmony, there's a good chance she'd know about Discord, and as far as she's concerned...
And Luna, but as far as...
Nightmare Moon is still out there, banished.
And also, at the same time, Discord was trapped in stone. That's all she knew. How was she going to know that Celestia had changed heart and let him out?
Mm.
In all fairness, she couldn't count on that. She'd not have to worry about the elements of harmony. And as we've seen, elements of harmony is stronger than Celestia.
Yeah.
So she has an army against all that, against what possibly she thinks is just Celestia and her army. Obviously, we've seen that Sunset Shimmer can turn others into these monster creatures as well, as with Snips and Snails. So she has an army of these monsters to deal with it all.
Well, I wouldn't say army, because she only turned Snips and Snails when she had the teenage army. I think that's more like a lieutenant system. I
think she could have transformed them all, though. Like, as always, unexplained stuff. If we had to take a guess, she obviously had a plan, at least. And we have to believe that.
Well, a rather half-baked one.
I will say her personality may be very lacking for a bad guy, but her plans and her reasons were very well done.
Yeah, I'll give it that.
Alright, so I think that's everything I want to really cover about her. Going back to things, immediately Twilight goes through the portal and finds herself in the human world. The next scenes that follow are always awkward to watch. It's always awkward to imagine being in that situation. It's handled very well by her. She finds out she's human, she has these weird appendages, she's freaking out, and...
As we would.
Of course.
I mean, hell, my fingers and thumbs if I had hooves.
Wow. Scary thought to lose your hands, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, there are humans who have lost their hands. Feel sad for them.
Yeah, I mean, tragic. You get appendages, robotic things, and yeah, anyways.
We can rebuild him faster.
Frankenbot.
She does a lot of things she feels natural, and she's constantly reminded by Spike. That's to look around. You know, for the first time ever, I truly understand Spike's purpose in the whole show was, and who he was to her. Spike's purpose is he's grown up around Twilight so much that he knows exactly what she needs him to be at the time. He knows when he can afford to be childish, or when he really needs to look out for her.
Yeah, that's a great revelation.
He's the ultimate assistant in a case, and even more than that, sometimes more a brother. I know, I'd never really gotten Spike's personality before, and his uses. Watching it through Equestria Girls was a really great way to learn all that.
He's just more than an assistant, like you said. He's there for her, knows her better than she does, maybe.
I've never just realized it through a series. This is probably the first time I've ever realized it. Immediately after that, we finally get a glimpse of the other main characters. First one being Fluttershy. Her first meeting with her is practically set up the same way as it is in the first episode of My Little Pony.
Yeah, I like that little mirror homage.
A strange way for her to... is also, like, strange for Twilight to see them all. I mean, we knew it was coming.
At first you lose your hands and you see your friends who aren't your friends in a strange new world. And I'd be freaking out.
Immediately hangs out with Fluttershy. I mean, I can imagine Fluttershy's side of why she does it with Twilight. Simply due to the fact that this person just helped you. Why not help? Why not stick around with them?
Yeah, act as a kind of guide.
Yeah, well, Fluttershy tends to normally stick to those who can help her. I was surprised she wasn't with Rainbow Dash. We then after that get a nice little cafeteria scene. Yes, we're going to get an amusing apple scene later. But I saw Twilight pick up a sandwich with meat on it. And all I could think about was, that was a cow. I'm not a vegetarian, I'll admit that. I do like to eat the meat. You're in some strange world and there's this weird food you've never seen before. Probably not best to eat it. I suppose you think it's natural to eat it, I guess.
When in Rome, do as the Romans.
Well, we get a nice scene of her later trying to order oats on a milkshake.
Yeah.
What are oats anyway?
Probably a fair bit off, but kind of porridgey stuff. Wheaty things.
We're introduced to Pinkie Pie next.
Pinkie Pie.
Finally, we get a chance to see something. We get to see that almost each of the members of the former Main Six are annoyed with each other, angry with each other. Or at least they have a reason to not be happy with each other.
But most of them, they only were mad at one or two people, and they were friends with other people in the group.
Yeah.
Like a circle.
But I had to imagine, though, I found a little bit of joy seeing this. Not because I enjoy this harmony and all that, but it's a good way to imagine what would a Ponyfield be like if Twilight didn't show up. How would these five normally react to each other?
I'd like to think they'd get on a little bit better than Equestria Girls.
Equestria Girls was Sunset Shimmer's doing.
Yeah. But they'd probably end up alright friends.
just not best friends.
Mm.
It was a nice way to see. Also, the amount of things for the bronies in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, there was 3 sightings of Derpy, 1 in the credits.
Mm-hmm.
Found very amusing to see that one.
Yeah, it was good.
A good throwback to the actual show, though, was when Twilight's in the library, trying to figure out how the computer works, you see the Q-Mark Crusaders, and you just see them listening to one of their song they sing during the...
Yeah, the talent show.
Yes. It's through that you actually learn what the Q-Mark Crusaders are trying to do in the Equestria Girls world. Naturally, of course, they can't get their Q-Marks, but it seems like they're trying to become famous YouTube stars.
It's great to see that even though the main 6 are fighting amongst each other, CMC are
As strong as ever.
Yeah, strong as ever, and still positive. They were reading the comments on the YouTube video, funniest thing I've ever seen, and they just took that and ran with it. Maybe not the best idea, but they were good intentions, and yeah.
Always something about them being naive. That's just fun to watch. Their design, like, they confuse me. Their clothing style. Scootaloo's I liked a lot. But,
the chicken.
Shut up. She ain't no chicken.
Chicken dance.
She's the best pony to ever live. Okay, that's probably not true, but still. She's awesome, and she's not chicken. She's a nice person. Leave Scootaloo
chickens
alone.
can be nice people too.
I know they taste good. I suppose it was such a weird way to see them, because DeviantArt and all sorts of daily Equestria, you see human art of all the members so much. What I'm used to seeing on Scootaloo, Sweetbelle, and Applebloom is just so weird compared to this. On any fan art, most of the time Applebloom is in a, what is it, that blue denim thing that goes around your, like what the engineer wears.
Overalls?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm used to seeing that on Applebloom.
TF2 rocks.
It's an awesome game. Better than COD.
COD.
Prepare for the hate. Oh, but yeah. I wasn't too big a fan of the clothes Applebloom was wearing. Still more like a country person who wasn't trying to be too country.
Yeah, not just a token, oh, she's weird girl, but part of the group.
I loved Scootaloo's jacket. That was very nice to have. What?
Did like about clothing is pretty much every character had the cutie mark on their skirt, their shirt, their pants.
It was on Applejack's boots.
That was a nice touch and helped you recognize those not too familiar background ponies.
And yet, still no cutie mark for the Cutie Mark Crusaders.
No.
So, like, the signs and clothes, I actually found Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon very adorable in the movie.
I wouldn't say hate, strongly dislike Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon, but they were they were along with the crowd, and
I don't often get to see those two in anything, but with them being in a scene where it's just them being there, and seeing a sign like that was quite a nice change. It was a very nice design as well.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was during the song Help Twilight Win the Crown, when I finally took notice of all the animation, all the designs, and I actually really loved the designs. I especially love the fact that they went with the colours like they did with the pony. It keeps it a nice, lovely feel. And I honestly I understand why people wanted to see it just normal human skins, because it's humans, but they're not humans, or at least not proper humans.
Yeah, as ponies, colourful horses, and that's just ponies. One of the problems I think people had with them becoming humans is then you have to add their race to that, and some people might be offended, and they are, some people aren't. There's a rather disliked live-action Equestria Girls music video that was made promotionally. Rarity was seen to be Asian. I mean, not that I've got anything against it, but I just pictured her more Englishy as a human.
She feels more upper class, almost a little bit more...
Not uncouth.
Not uncouth. She's a professional with the way she acts. She has class. It's not saying Asians don't have it, but you think more English when you think class.
Yeah, English, more refined. Not once again, not saying that Asians aren't refined or anyone else. Just my thoughts on it. I said ponies, you don't have to think about that. They're just ponies.
Honestly, I don't want to be thinking too much about that sort of stuff when I'm watching this. So to have these colours to be there, it's just nice. Let's not worry about the outcomes.
Yeah, it's good.
And speaking of the songs in Equestria Girls were quite nice.
Oh yeah, I loved the songs.
I think everyone's favourite, of course, was Helping Twilight Win the Crown. All the songs in it have a very different style to My Little Pony.
Yeah.
Whereas My Little Pony is always more about a solo singer or a duet. This one was always about the members of the main 6's chorus.
Yeah, just harmonising and yeah.
Yes, it's always about them singing together. You don't often see that in series, but Here it's done quite nice. Eventually, it just sort of helping Twilight win the crown. There's parts where you can just hear one of them better than anyone else, and you can feel their voice while everyone else is singing. But it's not exactly like overpowering.
One thing about that song, well, a few things about it. The main six bar Twilight. They're just in the cafeteria at the various tables, and some collecting their food with the trays, and they start off a little beat, tap, tap, tap. All of a sudden, Spike, the dog, who everyone bar Twilight thinks he's just an ordinary dog, he hits the MP3 player, and then the backing music comes up. Did they plan that, or what did the others, Twilight's friends, think? Because Twilight wasn't there to hit it.
Well, in normal My Little Pony, I'd say they can have animals plan to do stuff, because the way Flashlight can communicate with them, but I'm not too sure about this. I guess Twilight could have said Spike's a smart dog and can press a button on Q.
One of the smartest dogs you ever seen.
Press a button on Q.
Well, maybe not, but still,
I suppose that's the only reasonable explanation to it. Otherwise, you just gotta imagine it's just one of those musical moments in the movie, and
yeah,
you just gotta go with it. It's like magic. You ain't gotta explain anything.
Another little nitpick. Flash does his little guitar riff in the early bit.
They weren't playing on it?
Won't say whether they were or not. So he does that. Okay, fair enough. He's got his guitar with him. But then in the middle of the song, there's just a drum kit in the cafeteria, and he starts playing.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's when the whole band starts. Most of them just instruments they can carry around, but a full-on drum kit.
Maybe that's his special talent.
Quick assembly and carrying.
Or just as a Pinkie Pie pulls out of nowhere.
I found that rather funny.
I have nothing. Unless he had it there originally, I have nothing for that.
In a cafeteria.
I have nothing. So the music was quite awesome.
Yeah.
Got a nice reprise during the end of the movie.
So minor characters in the film. There were a lot of shout-outs, like you said before, Derpy in the end credits, just doing a little dance.
Vinyl Scratch.
Yeah, Vinyl Scratch. Cherylee. She was a teacher in one of the classrooms, very on the movie. She was teaching classroom people, as teachers teach.
Teachers teach.
Yes.
Good to know.
Today I learned. And later, she's a librarian. This was assumedly during the lunch break.
Oh, I wouldn't say she's a librarian. She's just a teacher on duty.
Yeah, well, it leads to a couple of questions. The most important question is, did she get to eat her lunch that day? Lunch is very important.
I would have to imagine Celestia is that kind of tyrant there.
Also leads on. Well, she might be on duty, or she might be the librarian. Who knows? Is she working 2 jobs? How's the economy in this new world? Is she alright financially?
Well, the school's very clean.
Yeah, how she could triple as a janitor.
It's either she does that, or the world must have a good economy. I'll never understand the economy of My Little Pony, though.
Oh, I barely understand our economy.
We have an economy?
Yeah, bottle caps.
Oh, must be rich then.
Hells yeah.
All those suckers buying cans.
Just throwing away money.
Who would throw away a perfectly good bottle cap?
Celestia being a tyrant. Is it just me, or did Celestia and Luna seem a little out of character as a principal and vice principal?
I suppose, in a sense, in this sort of situation, Luna hasn't had the whole gang sent off for 1,000 years.
Well, you'd hope not. I'd make one crabby vice principal.
And Celestia was a bit harsh at the beginning, but obviously it shows later she is still the same Celestia. How does Celestia and Luna react to others all the time in normal Equestria? Twilight's their personal student and friend at times.
Yeah.
So you can imagine them going soft on them. But how would Celestia normally react to just some commoner, some other individual? And we have to imagine this Celestia isn't 1,000 years old. She didn't have all this time to become this powerful princess. But she is some human who's probably lived for
40.
She's going to be grouchy. She's probably just having a midnight life crisis.
Buy a sports car.
Or it could have been that time of the month. I just only put forward into this, and do they have that in Equestria Girls? Sunset Shimmer did seem a bit quick to change in her emotions.
What's up with the principal and vice principal being sisters?
Sisters.
They directly say it. I'm going to talk to my sister.
Well, maybe they just want to pursue a life in this career together.
Be a bit awkward if, say, Rabluna did something wrong. Hey, your sister did this. Would Celestia stand up for her or take the kid's side?
I'd say she'd probably stick up for Luna. But then again, there was the reason why Luna and Celestia had to fight in their normal My Little Pony originally. May just lead to a fallout between the two of them. Leads to a lot of things that could actually happen between the two of them. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen for the whole movie. What I'd really like to see is more.
There were early on, way before the movie was close to coming out, the rumors that Equestria Girls was actually a series, not a movie.
I would love to see a series.
Yeah, people were flipping shit over that.
I mean,
yeah, now I'd love it.
Hey, in all honesty, don't tell the community, but I'd probably actually rather see half seasons like we got with season 3 of My Little Pony, if we can get half season of Equestria Girls at least. Don't tell the community.
Yeah, as long as they don't do something like Breaking Bad, where they just stop halfway through the season with a massive plot, cliffhanger for a whole year.
Breaking Bad did that? Walking Dead did that as well. Well, something similar. Why do these shows have such bad habits?
Because they hate us, and we love them so much.
Speaking of which, Walking Dead Season 4 comes out in a couple of months.
Woohoo!
You watched it, Walking Dead?
Yeah, I love Walking Dead.
A really great show. Wasn't too fan of Season 2. My favourite episodes really are those in Season 1, during the city.
Pity it's just 6 episodes short.
Would have been nice to... I don't know, the city terrain is always my favourite terrain for any zombie related stuff. I understand why it's dangerous, but it's just a lot more fun. Things I would want to see what happens next after Equestria Girls. Like, the next... Pinky hinted at the new Twilight. Twilight. So it'd be nice to see what her reaction is coming to the school where everyone has already met her.
So it's a fairly large school. Yeah, I mean, they've got a huge library, cafeteria, all that. It looks pretty big. Pinkie Pie seems to be the only one who vaguely recognizes Twilight. I mean, she doesn't seem to know her exact name as Twilight in the human world, but she knows that she has a dog called Spike. Well, the human Twilight has a dog called Spike. Twilights and worlds.
What do you think this means?
You could simply explain it as Pinkie Pie being Pinkie Pie, but you'd think that she at least vaguely knows of her. Maybe someone else in the entire school. Maybe know her.
Pinkie outright says that she asked if she had a twin sister that lived in the city, so it may not be in the school. I mean, hey, you could have someone in the school who vaguely recognizes her, but do they speak to Twilight?
Basically a mini school celebrity running for the crown.
Yeah, but I see people all the time in the streets who I vaguely recognize as people I've seen thousands of times before. I don't go up to them.
I'll just say, hey, how's it going, you jerk?
What if Flash Sentry recognizes Twilight a little bit, and that's why he falls for her?
I mean, there's no indication that he does, but then again... Nothing that he doesn't.
Yeah, just to see that kind of reaction and what happens next, as well as the reactions to, at the end of the movie, during the whole fight scene, like, the main 6 become these half human, half ponies, right?
Yeah, that was something else.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, it's just...
I mean, it led to a cool scene.
Unexpected.
I did not expect it coming, but it led to a cool scene between Rainbow Dash and Scooter.
Yeah.
Which shows the sisterly bond is still there as well.
Something that really annoyed me about that, though, is... So they're becoming the human-pony hybrid, whatever.
Yeah.
The Pegasi, they grow wings. Everyone gets their ears and tails. But the unicorns, they don't get their horns.
Yeah. I don't know why that happened. It'll just look a bit too awkward, maybe?
Well, wings are a fair bit bigger than horns.
Suppose, I don't know.
Or maybe mad, no.
I want to see what everyone's reaction is to these 6 after that. I mean, how do you go on every school day live after becoming that?
Hell, if you puke on someone, you could get known as the guy who puked on someone for the rest of your life.
Oh, it's that girl who grew pony wings.
What would that do to you?
And just imagine being Rainbow Dash. Someone who got to fly and then can't fly him.
Hell, I could see that ending really dark.
There's a lot to Equestria Girls that I want to explore more, and I want to see more of. Do you have anything else you want to talk about, Equestria Girls?
So, we know that Sunset Shimmer broke up the main 6, keep calling main 6, the 5 of them, their friendships a bit. It doesn't really show it that much, but I think Applejack might have took the brunt of it, because besides the main 6, she's often shown sitting by herself or just with her brother, sister, and, CMC in the cafeteria, no other people her age.
I feel like that's her in normal Little Pony anyway.
Just her lonerism.
She doesn't care to be around others all the time. She doesn't mind doing her work. She's a hard worker. She likes to be around her family a lot. Her family is as good as friends to her. They're better than friends to her. Applejack is always about the big family.
And then again, her grandmother works in the cafeteria.
Oh, Granny Smith.
Yes.
How the world has changed for you. She goes from the skinny, saggy pony to just to this very plump old woman. It's just like, how?
I mean,
how?
The 60s, man. We don't talk about the 60s. The Help Twilight Win the Crown song. I mean, I know it's just high school, but so one good song and dance performance wins her the election after that smear campaign.
They're the same as the questions, and this is my thought on the questions. During Season 3's finale, all the ponies in Ponyville were so angry at everyone. All of a sudden, Pinkie comes out, gives off a massive amount of positive energy, and they all just become positive. And that's how I think something special about questions. If you're not a leader, you're a follower. And the followers, they sense the negative and positive energy from all others. If you have a leader who just comes in and presents a lot of positive energy, they all of a sudden become these positive people, happy for these people. Twilight came in and gave off a positive energy and signals to vote for her, to be behind her. And they did. They listened to her, they heard her ideals, they liked it, they felt the positiveness, and they just went with it.
Yeah, I haven't really thought of it from that point of view before, but I could really roll with that, yeah. Speaking of Shimmer getting her that smear campaign, she goes on to, blame Twilight for crashing the dance, wrecking it with the forged pictures. I mean, they're quickly shown to be fake. Sunshine gets no fallout from that. Luna is a fairly... I don't think she's a dumb pony, but there's no repercussion.
Yeah, that is a bit of a plot hole.
Yeah.
Did Sunset Shimmer even show up to the dance?
I don't believe so.
Maybe that was a repercussion.
Oh yeah, she could have been kicked out. But she lost the vote anyways, and...
She knew she was going to lose the vote. That's why she had to do something. She'd already planned to have to do something.
Yeah, but it was very lucky that Flash just happened to overhear Shimmer going to Luna with the pictures.
Let's not get into luck and coincidence when we're talking about TV shows and movies.
Cheap shots, really.
Luck and coincidence. That's how all movies and shows have to work.
Yeah, let that one slide.
Look, the only time you don't get luck and coincidence is horrors and thrillers and grim darks. When things are allowed to go wrong, luck and coincidence is just taken out of the equation then. Until then, you can play with it all you want. Especially in a cartoon.
So were there any things you want to see more of? I mean, we've already kind of half covered that, but anything you expected to be in the movie that wasn't?
I just expected the movie great to have a good time. I didn't really think about what I'd be seeing. I did expect there to be some awkward moment when Twilight revealed who she was. Pinkie covered that, thankfully.
That was expertly done, kind of Deus Ex Machina.
It's one that fits.
Yeah, I mean...
To have Pinkie explain it for her, it gets rid of the awkwardness.
I'd normally be right against that, but...
It's Pinkie, and you just come to know that's a thing she's actually allowed to do. It's the law of the show, she's allowed to. And I'm happy she actually did it. I was happy I didn't have to go through this whole awkward scene of people not understanding things, people laughing at her. It's just like, those scenes I'm over. I don't enjoy it. Let's just get it over with.
Myself, I expected more from the great and powerful Trixie.
All you got was cheese and crackers?
Yeah, she has a line and she puts a coin in. I mean, at the very least, I was expecting maybe a hollow coin, and just pulls it right back out.
She was never too good with her tricks.
I mean, her basic tricks she was pretty good at, but real magic, I mean, I think that would have suited her character rather nicely.
Yeah. I was weirded out by Twilight not even reacting to her, but I suppose by then she'd already gotten used to everything. I think I've covered everything I feel like I want to talk to you about. Tonight we've covered the way people have reacted and how stupid it is. I want to say, though, there have been a lot of people who have supported it, and I can't really name more. One that does come to mind is, I think, the Twixie blog, Tumblr blog.
Inconvenient Trixie?
No, it's a Twilight and Trixie love blog, which it actually goes far beyond that sort of stuff, and it becomes a very story-driven blog eventually. But the person behind that gave their support to Equestria Girls, even went out right to say that they were shamed by the way, at least I think it was her.
Well, that's great that they stood up against a hive mind.
Yeah, that's a redeeming thing for the community. I'm happy that people actually stood up for this. And, I mean, why not get behind it? Show some support to Hasbro and say, just keep this stuff going for as long as possible. Just keep it going. Even if you have to make a little bit difference here and there, just give us some more. Otherwise, it ends, and the community ends with it. Exactly. The moment we run out of episodes, the moment we're done with our last season, the community will go for maybe 1 or 2 more years.
Fandoms that just survive through their awesome community. Do we have that community that can survive?
I think that's a question I want to leave this night on, because I don't feel that's... I want to examine everything more before I can ever give an answer to that. And that's something I really, desperately want to know about the community. If it has strength to do that, it'll be something that's really amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, well, what we've done so far, the very basic thought of show for little girls, we own this now. Yeah, love and tolerate and...
But the question still remains. Once it's over, will we stick around?
Our little disasters, Alicorn Twilight Equestria girls,
but,
people saying they're leaving the fandom every day.
But that's different. To have something still, you still have the show going. When the show's all over, when everything is said and done, when there is no more content actually being given out, when everything is just fan-made, that's when it will truly be known whether it dies or lives. As I said, I'll want to come back at this another time when, after Season 4 comes out, I'll approach this question again and be able to have a good answer for it.
I guess that's it.
Anyway, until then, for those who actually stuck around for however long we've been talking to, thanks for listening. You have been listening to After Dark, where everything is nice, cool, and comfortable. We do aim to please you, and we do try to please you. We mean it.
And Rarity's best pony.
Always good to end it on a joke, right? Night, folks. Make sure to leave a comment if you disagree with anything we say, or you just hate how we've been doing this. Also, give us comments on how you think we can be improving.
Love to hear from you.
Any active love and hate can help support us. See ya.
Bye.